On Sunday, we have another London game. We have the Broncos at the Jaguars. So make sure you have anybody from these teams. You set your lineup Saturday night. They play at 9:30 in the morning. So, if Russ plays and Russ doesn't play, who from the offense will you start besides Courtland Sutton? I know you said Sutton kind of give you some hesitation. Anybody else you'll start?
Honestly, I would go with the Luch. If you need a tight end, and you're trying to figure out, okay, who do I start? He's still available. He has to be available at a good 60-70% of leagues right now. Maybe a little bit less. But the Luch right now, I think he's got like 10 or 11 targets the past two games. Each game, so for like 22, 23 targets the past two games. So I definitely feel like that's a start that you won't really have to worry about. He's actually getting more targets than wide receivers. If anybody needs a tight end, the Luch, number 80 for the Denver Broncos. Russ has been heavily targeting him. He was actually out for the first like 4 or 5 games this year, but ever since he's been back, he's been doing his thing. So that's definitely somebody I would start.
Okay. Yeah, I like that, especially with Kelsey and Everett being on bye weeks. Somebody probably does need a tight end replacement. That's a good replacement to pick up. What about at the backfield? You rather go Gordon or Murray at the backfield?
Man, I would venture, honestly, man. Honestly, I would honestly venture to go say Mike Boone. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. And it's maybe specifically for this week. Against the Jag defense. The Jag defense is very good. It's very stout at up the middle running. But when they actually go to a specific zone system or they're passing out the backfield, we are horrible at defending it. For whatever reason, we're horrible at defending it. And a shifty back, we're horrible at defending a shifty back as well. So I definitely feel like if we're going to start anybody in this specific backfield, I feel like Mike Boone would be the better play of either Gordon or Latavius Murray. I feel like he's going to get more volume from rushes as well as passes.
Okay. And from Jacksonville, I think if you have Trevor Lawrence, you're going to start him if that's your number one QB. The backfield, ETN, no more James Robinson. So how you feel about ETN the rest of the season?
Oh, man, ETN is RB1. RB1 all day, man. He can catch the ball out the backfield, 4.3 speed. Offensive line is doing very good this year. So I definitely think RB. If you have James Robinson. If you have Travis Etienne, fire him up RB1. And that's a potential league winner right there.
For sure. I agree. And Christian Kirk's real hot, but he's been kind of cold lately. How you feel about him?
Yeah. So I like him this week because he plays in the slot. You're gonna have Marvin Jones or Zay Jones out on the perimeter, who Patrick Surtain is going to pretty much cover. And then you have really nobody else. So Christian Kirk is always going to be in the slot going against a nickel corner or a third DB. So I definitely like him this week. Last week they forced him the ball even more, and that's why we had more of a chance to win. I think the last 2 games that we pretty much did, we were out of, we didn't get him the ball. So this past week right here, he was forced the ball. He was a yard away from winning the game. So he's definitely going to go off. I feel like definitely he'll go off. And like I said, it's going to be one of those type of things where the Broncos defense, it's just going to be more opportunities for the Jags offense just because the Broncos offense is a mess right now.
Yeah, I agree. And then the 1 o'clock games, we have the Panthers at the Falcons. Not too much fantasy potential here. For the Panthers, we mentioned Deontay Foreman. How do you feel about DJ Moore with PJ Walker going forward?
Oh, man. It's one of those old adages, man. You roll with what you know. So I feel like PJ Walker is going to target DJ Moore just because he knows if I want to win the game, I need to get the ball to my playmaker. My playmaker on the perimeter is going to be DJ Moore. So whether they scheme it in quick slants, whether they scheme it in wheel routes, quick screens, whatever may have you, they're going to get DJ on the ball. So I definitely going to have another start.
Okay. And for the Falcons, is there anybody from this team that you will start?
It's so dicey, man. I want to say Tyler Algier. I do feel like he has good potential, but like you said, you don't know if down the goal line or whatever, if you're going to have Marcus Mariota take those carries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's and he's not really catching the ball like that. He's getting the most volume for his rushing. But if you're in need for an RB and you have Tyler Algier, I would slide him in maybe a low end flex, but I wouldn't expect too much production out of that.
Yeah, I agree. And like if you have Mahomes or Herbert this week, Mariota actually plays very well at home. He gives you a lot of fantasy output. So if you need a late fill-in, Mariota might not be too bad to go to. Then we have the Bears at the Cowboys. Justin Fields actually had a great game last week. How you think he'll do this week?
So if they keep up that same type of offensive scheme, what I did like about it, they got the ball out of Justin Fields' hand quick. And what they also did was they gave him one or two reads. It was really like you either had the hot receiver or you had the tight end, and then you had to jump off at the running back. He was real good with that. When you are giving him too much because the offensive line is still terrible.
Right.
But what they did was they did a very good job of scheming it to where they get the ball out of his hands very quickly. And I feel like that's the same type of added that you're going to need going against the Cowboys defense that is going to be great in the pass rush. And you're going to have the robber out there in Trayvon Diggs that's going to jump. He's going to jump some passes.
Yeah.
So I feel like Mooney this week is going to be a boom or bust. He's either going to have 20 plus points or he's either going to have like 3 or less. So I definitely, for as a start on Justin Fields, I'm gonna say sit, just for the simple reason that I need to see him do it again.
Okay.
He hasn't been consistent, so I need to see him do it again. If he puts another 17, 18 point game together against a good defense, 2 back-to-back good defenses, then I think he'll be able to start the rest of the way.
For sure, I agree. For Dallas, I think we'll start Schultz, CeeDee Lamb. How do you feel between Zeke and Pollard? Who do you have going forward rest of the season? Who do you rather have?
Man, going forward the rest of the season, give me Tony Pollard, man.
I agree.
Give me Tony Pollard. I feel like Zeke is very TD dependent right now. Pollard has just more pop to it, man. We seen it last year. You know what I'm saying? He just has more juice to him. Catches the ball very well out the backfield. He just gives an extra dimension to that offense that I feel like they need right now. They actually need that right now. So going forward, I think week 10, week 11, I think we'll see more of a 70-30 split than what we're seeing probably the 50-50 right now. I'm definitely looking forward to that 70-30 split. So yeah, I'll go with Tony Pollard starting this week.
Agreed. And then we have the Dolphins at the Lions. Tua needs a get right game. This will be the game because Detroit's defense is horrible. So, what do you expect from Tua this week?
I expect big things from Tua this week, man. I feel like this week right here, Tua is going to be out to prove that he's back. That's going to be the thing for him. So they're going to be taking a lot of deep shots. Now it may result into a couple of interceptions. It may, but I feel like they're going to throw the ball a lot this week. I feel like they are going to get Waddle, get Tyreek Hill involved. They're going to get the ball out of his hand a little quicker than what they may have been, but I feel like also they're going to do a lot of play action. So you got Raheem Monster that's been stepping up. So I feel like you'll do some play action screens as well. So you're going to have those type of dimensions to it, man. So I like to this week.
Okay. And for the Detroit. This offense started off so hot, but they've been cooled off lately. How do you feel about if DeAndre Swift is healthy? Would you play him?
I think you have to. I think if you got DeAndre Swift, I would definitely play him this week. I mean, I know he's coming back off an injury, but I mean, honestly and truly, who else do you have on that offense that's going to do the output? And at the end of the day, you know, if he gets 7 or 8 catches that may go for, you know, I don't know, 40, 50 yards or whatever, that's still fantasy output right there. And RB, and it can give you, you know, at bare minimum RB2, RB2 numbers. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking go ahead and ride with DeAndre Swift if he's healthy this week.
I agree. And then next we have the Cardinals at the Vikings. I think this is, if you have any offensive players from these teams, you're going to start them. But the question I have is, who do you think will score more points this week, D-Hop or Jefferson?
Good question. I'm gonna say D-Hop, just because I feel like the secondary of the Vikings is weaker than the secondary of the Cardinals. Because you're probably going to put Pat P. On D-Hop, and he's going to abuse him. There's no other way to put it. He's going to abuse him. Now Jefferson, I feel like they're going to lean more towards Dalvin this week, man, just because the run defense of Arizona is not good. So I think there's going to be I still think Jefferson will put up, 17 to 20 points. Now I feel like this is going to be a Dalvin Cook moment.
Okay. Then we have the Raiders at the Saints. We kind of talked about this one earlier. It's kind of the same thing. If you have anybody from the offense, I think you'll start them. Of course, Jacobs, Adams. For the Saints, you're going to start Kamara. Kind of same question. Do you trust more of Olave this week or Adams?
I think in this matchup right here, now I'm going to go with Adams for the simple fact that they need Adams. Because they need this game. I feel like they will lean on Jacobs to a point, but the Saints can, even though their defense is not what it used to be, they're still good at stopping the run. So I do feel like, and Carr, I feel like Carr wants to sling it a little bit, man. And I feel like he understands that for us to be successful down the road and to make that playoff push, him and Devontae Adams have to be on the same page. They have to get it right. So what better way to do it than go up against the Saints defense that has, been giving up, I think, the 6th most fantasy points to the wide receivers. I'll say go ahead and just fire up Devontae Adams, man. Olave is I think he'll do a little bit of work. But with Andy Dalton, he's not locked in on one person yet. So he's going to be spreading the ball around. So like I said, I think volume is going to be key here. That's what I'm going to go with. Devontae Adams over Chris Olave.
Cool. I agree. Then we have the Patriots at the Jets. For the Patriots, not too much fantasy potential. I would start Stevenson. For the Jets, I have a question for you. So, with Brees Hall injury, that hurt me because I had him in my other league. He was beasting on the year.
Yes, he was. That was a very, very good pickup this year. Very good pickup.
So who do you have more faith in rest of the season? Do you have Stevenson or James Robinson?
So I'm gonna go ahead and say Robinson, only because they traded for him. They gave up 6th. I'm sorry. They were 6th round, so they gave up draft compensation for him. Mm-hmm. So that means that they are not confident in Michael Carter. Like that's just pretty much what it says right there. So yeah. I feel like it will take a week or so for him to get acclimated. So I wouldn't judge him directly off of this game, but going forward, and we've seen what he can do when he does have the volume. He was very good back for my Jags. So I feel like going forward, especially with the offensive line, with the way they are coming right now, I definitely think James Robinson. I'm definitely taking James Robinson over Stevenson. Stevenson is still a good player, and I want to make that clear. I still like Stevenson, especially in your lineup. That's another one that kind of scares me a little bit because I feel like he can have 30 yards rushing, but he can have 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
As crazy as it seems. So, but I do think going forward, I do think James Robinson is going to be the better back and more consistent back that you can count on for that volume.
Okay. And then our last 1 p.m. game, we have the Steelers at the Eagles. For the Eagles, I think you'll start anybody from the offense that you have. For the Steelers, would you trust Najee Harris this week?
I don't, man. I don't
Yeah,
especially with Robert Quinn just being traded there.
Agreed.
So I don't trust Najee this year, man. I don't know if it's the quarterback play. I don't know if it's the system. I do know their offensive line took a hit, but I just don't trust Najee, especially not this week. Against a hungry and ready to prove it, and then Eagles team that's just coming off of 5 as well. So they're itching at the bits, man, to get out there. So I definitely think it's going to be a shit week for Najee.
I agree. Then we have the Titans at the Texans. Not too much fantasy potential here besides the running backs. Do you trust Derrick Henry or Dameon Pierce this game?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to text Derrick Henry. We're going to go with King Henry on this, man. I do feel like it is a division matchup, so I do feel like they will ride Pierce a little bit, but I think that last game that the Titans just had, I think that kind of gave them a little bit more, kind of a little boost about what they can do. So I'm going to definitely roll with King Henry over Dameon Pierce. But I also, in that matchup, I also like, for pure volume reasons, I also like Brandon Cooks.
Really?
Yeah. The Tennessee Titans, they've been horrible, honestly, against the pass. So if one thing Mills is going to do, he's going to throw it to Brandon Cooks. Now, is he going to catch the targets? Who knows? But I kind of, in this matchup right here, man, the division matchup, I do like Brandon Cooks this week.
Okay. He needs it because he's been having an off year so far.
Very off year.
He's doing what he's supposed to do. So this will be the bounce back game for him. Then next we have the Commanders at the Colts. Really no fantasy output here. I'll just ask this: Who do you feel will walk away with the most fantasy points from this game? Commanders at Colts.
Oh man, I would probably say we're talking about individual, correct?
Yeah, individual.
I would probably say, you know what, man? I kind of like Paris Campbell, man.
Okay.
I kind of like it. He's had like 25 targets the last 2 games. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you're going to put your number one DB on Pittman. That's been giving Paris Campbell room to play. Now, I say that thinking that Ellinger is going to actually play up to par of where at least Matt Ryan was, because I feel like you don't make that switch unless you feel like whatever you're bringing in is somebody better. Now let's totally throw it out the window. If he doesn't play nowhere near the level at least Matt Ryan was playing, then I don't think it's going to be tough. I mean, we might have Brian Robinson on the Commanders be the leading scorer. But afterwards, I think it's going to be and then you also have Jonathan Taylor. He's been so up and down this year, man. He pretty much went number 1 overall in 98% of drafts.
Mm-hmm.
So man. So that's definitely a tough one to call. I like Paris Campbell, but it all depends on the quarterback play.
Okay. We have the 49ers at the Rams next. Let's see, CMC or Cooper Kupp? We're going to start both of them, but who do you think scores more points this game?
Oh man, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Cooper Kupp just because of this receiver. I do think that the 49ers will get up on the Rams, and they're going to have to thing he's good for is throwing Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
That's it. So I definitely think that Cooper Cup, he still is going to be another, 12, 13 catch, game. He can do, 130, 140 yards with that. So, and maybe with a touchdown. So I think that he'll have the more fantasy output than CMC, but CMC will get the win.
Agreed. Then we have the Giants and the Seahawks. For the Giants, of course, you're going to start Saquon. The Seahawks, of course, you're going to start the receivers and Kenneth Walker. But the QBs, who do you think wins the QB battle this week? You have Geno Smith or Daniel Jones?
Yeah, Daniel Jones, man. Yeah, Daniel Jones.
I hope so.
I think Geno.
I need him to. I hope so.
Yeah. That's another one that kind of scares me a bit. I definitely have him winning that battle over Geno. I think Geno he's going to play decent. He's not going to give the game away, and he's not going to put up a dud. But I think that the nudge will have to go with Daniel Jones because I just feel like he has an overall better team and more playmakers.
Agreed. And then we have the Sunday night game. We have the Packers at the Bills. For the Packers, is there anybody besides Aaron Jones that you will start this game?
Nope, not a one. I don't trust Alan Lazard. I don't trust Dobbs. I don't trust A.J. Dillon. And I definitely don't trust Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones would probably be the only person that I would start from the Packers.
Agreed. For the Bills, we're gonna start Diggs. We're gonna start Allen. Gabe Davis. You think this will be a high output, low output game? How you feel he'll do this game?
I think Gabe may be somewhere in the middle. So I'm thinking 11, 12 point game for him.
Okay.
I think it'll be somewhere up in there. Now, it does all depend on Dawson Knox because I do know that there's been rumblings that they want to get Dawson Knox more involved. So if they want to get him more involved, of course, what that will do is that will knock down the targets for of somebody like Gabe Davis and Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah.
It all depends on what their focus is coming out. But I do feel like it's going to be one of those games to where Gabe Davis will kind of be right there. I don't think he'll put up a good. I don't see a 30-point output for him.
Yeah, me either. That's probably why I'm not going to start him this week. And then our last game of the week, Monday night, we have the Bengals at the Browns. For the Bengals, I think you're going to start everybody from the offense. For the Browns, You're going to start Chubb. Would you start Kareem Hunt?
I would not start Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, he started off okay, but it's been more so being towards, this is Chubb's backfield. So I don't think that you can trust that going forward for a start. I think you can find better options than this week.
Okay. And for the Bengals, Chase or Higgins, who would you rather have this week?
Chase. Chase is always going to get those targets. Chase is always going to get that volume. I do feel like Higgins is coming more. I don't think it's a 1A, 1B type of situation yet. I think that Chase is a clear number one, and Higgins is the number two. But with that being said, I still think Chase is. I just like him. I just like him more for his chemistry already with Joe as well. I think he'll, and then I think he can exploit the matchup a little bit more against Greedy.
Okay. Agreed. And that's the rundown for week 8, man. That's all I got, bro. Appreciate it. Anything you want to get out before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Just want to shout out to my boy G Reed, man. Once again, bro, I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing this thing, bro. I know a lot of people are going to start listening in to this. And everybody that is listening in, I know they enjoy it. I know I enjoy it. So, man, keep doing this, bro. And shout out to everybody that's supporting my boy. Y'all keep sharing this on all platforms, all channels. Geo Podcast, man. This is the next big thing smoking. So y'all make sure y'all tune in and make sure y'all keep sharing this thing, man, for sure.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support.